Look, if you grew up in the cloud, you probably think storage is just magic. You ask for some space, it appears, you put data in it, and you walk away. You have absolutely no idea about the physical pain, the decades of pain we went through.
See, this wasn't about code. This was about physics. I'm serious. We were managing gravity and momentum. It was about knowing exactly where a physical piece of metal was spinning at any given millisecond.
Okay, let's get into it. The first disaster was the disk itself. We called it spinning rust for a reason. It was literally a metal platter spinning thousands of times a minute with this tiny little arm flying back and forth trying to find your data.
And that arm was a hard physical limit. If your data was on the outer edge of the disk, that arm could not physically be on the inner edge at the same time reading your index. This wasn't a bug you could just patch. No, this was the laws of physics, and it was absolutely murdering our performance.
So what did we do? We invented this completely insane workaround called OFA. And this wasn't a suggestion. This was about survival. You had to go out and buy 2 separate physical hard drives. You put the data on one, the index on the other, just so both arms could move at the same time. It was expensive, it was fragile, it was completely ridiculous, and it was standard practice.
And then, of course, the vendors showed up. Companies like EMC and NetApp, they roll in these giant, mysterious black boxes, and they tell us, hey, stop worrying about all those disks, we've solved it. And what they really did was just bury the problem. They took 1,000 disks and mashed them all together into something called a SAN. We stopped managing files and started managing these weird virtual things called LUNs. Then Oracle came along with ASM, and we were just feeding it raw disks. The physical reality, it just vanished.
So, yeah, we traded direct control for all this abstraction. But you know what we gained? Sleep. And honestly, it was a relief. We could finally stop worrying. We actually believed the war against the disk was finally over. We thought we'd won.
But we forgot one really important detail. Deleting data is messy, and that big black box was hiding a very dirty secret.
So picture this. You've got a massive table. I mean, huge. The data file on disk is 1 terabyte, and it is packed, completely full.
Now it's time for some cleanup. You run a big delete statement. You get rid of, say, 1,000,000 old rows. Boom! You've just freed up a ton of space.
So that means the file on the operating system is smaller now, right? I mean, of course it is. It has to be, right?
Wrong. Completely, utterly, 100% wrong. Look at this. The file is the exact same size. The database doesn't give the space back to the operating system. It just marks it internally as empty.
And there you have it. Congratulations. Your beautiful, efficient database is now a giant block of Swiss cheese. It's bloated, it's full of empty holes, and you're paying for all that wasted space, and your backups are taking forever.
And fixing this? Oh, it was a total nightmare. A weekend job that gave you cold sweats just thinking about it. You had to manually move the entire table, rebuild every single index from scratch, and just pray to whatever deity you believed in that you didn't lock up the entire production database in the process.
So after 30 years of this misery, what changed? Oracle finally gave us the tool we always wanted. It's basically a vacuum cleaner for our Swiss cheese. It's called DBMS_space shrink_tablespace. And listen, this isn't just another command. This is the automated surgeon we had been begging for decades. So how does this magic work? Well, in auto mode, it just gets to it. It scans the file and finds all those empty holes. Then it finds the data blocks that are stuck at the very end of the file. We can call them stoppers, and it intelligently moves those stoppers into the holes at the front. It defragments itself, and then automatically it shrinks the physical file.
And here it is, the absolute magic bullet. It does all of this online, live, while your users are logged in and hammering away at the database. That weekend nightmare, it's over. This is no longer a high-risk, take-the-whole-system-down event.
Just think about how the job has changed. Back then, we were fighting tooth and nail just to save a few milliseconds of physical disk seek time. Now, we're fighting to shrink files to save thousands of dollars on a cloud bill.
The core technology has shifted completely. We went from physically micromanaging actual moving arms on a piece of metal to logically and automatically moving data blocks around in software. It's a whole new world.
So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We solved the problem of spinning rust. We've fixed the Swiss cheese nightmare. The technology always changes, but the pain just moves to a new place.
So I have to ask, what are you fighting today? What's your spindle dance?